Welcome to another edition of Tony's Tiny Tips. When the red light on your HRV control panel starts blinking, it's time to change your filters. The first thing you need to do is get up into that roof space and see how many fans you've got. You'll need a filter for each fan. I have 2 fans, so I'm going to need 2 filters. You can book a service through the HRV website. I've done that several times and they're very efficient, but on this occasion I've chosen to do it myself. I bought my filters from filterspecialist.co.nz and I chose the carbon filter, which is $99 in this case, because I live in an area where there's other properties around like farmland that produce quite considerable odours from time to time. Hopefully that will reduce the odours in my home. The filters arrived within 2 days and I was ready to go. The first thing you need to do is go and turn your HRV system off. Do that by going to the control panel and using the on-off switch. It will only remain off for 8 hours, but that's plenty of time to get done what you want. Don't worry about the red light continuing to flash. The fans are actually off once the system's been turned off. 2 things to remember when you're up in your ceiling space. Number 1, make sure you walk on the framing so that you don't put your foot through your ceiling. As you can see, up here there's quite a bit of dust flying around, and insulation dust is very bad for your lungs. Do wear a mask. Once you've got access to your filter unit, just unstrap it from the ceiling because that'll make it easier to work on. I guess it pays not to land it down on your ducting. Once you've got it down, start taking off the tape that's holding the 2 portions together. There's far too much tape in this case. I don't know who did this one, but it doesn't need that much. Just keep an eye on the ducting at the back as you're doing this so that you're not damaging it, especially where it connects to the unit. Once you've got the tape away so that you've got a gap between and you can separate the 2 portions of the unit, you can use something. I've got a putty knife here just to lever it up a bit. It looks like I'm being pretty rough with it, but I've sped this up, so I'm actually being quite gentle. There you go. A little bit of gentle persuasion and it comes apart quite easily. There's the filter inside. That's what we're going to remove, but it is taped around the edge for an airtight seal, so we have to remove that tape first. And there we go. Old filter out. And there's the arrow that indicates the direction of the airflow. When we put the new filter in, we'll make sure that the arrow is pointing in the same direction where the airflow is going from the fan to the ducting. It's gone in a bit too deep, so we just draw it back a bit so that it's flush with the edge. Then we tape it up to make it airtight. Whenever you're using a tape that has a backing on it, I recommend you tear it instead of cut it when you're getting it to length, because that way it's much easier to separate the 2 parts, the front and the back of the tape. Then put it on around the edge, about halfway across, and then tuck it around so that it creates an airtight seal. Once that's done, it's time to put the 2 sections back together. A little gentle persuasion helps. And time to do the taping process all over again. This time we're taping the 2 pieces together and making sure that it's an airtight seal. Once I've been right around and I've coming to the last piece that I'm putting down, I like to make a little fold in the end of the tape so that it leaves a little bit of a tab. Next time I need to change these filters, I can grab that tab and lift it up and I can just take that tape off from there very easily. Once all that's done, I just do a check make sure nothing's damaged, make sure everything's still connected the way it's supposed to be connected, and then I get the straps ready to hang it back up in the ceiling space. I just sit the whole thing on the old filter to give it a bit of height while I tighten up the straps. Sometimes you have to do little things like this when you're on your own because you've got no one to hold it up for you. There's not enough room for another person in there, so you've got to innovate a little bit. There you go. Hanging again the way it was before we started. Now it's time to reset the control panel so that that light stops blinking. First thing to do is you hold the down button down for 8 seconds. It will bleep after 3 seconds, but keep it pressed for the full 8 seconds. O2 will be displayed in the roof space. Press the up button to increase the O2 to 22, not by holding it down, but by giving it short pushes. Below the 22 you will see a 0. Then press the power button till you see either 0, 9 or 10. Finally press the function button and everything will come back to normal. It is reset. Now you can go and relax and be a happy chappy just like Tony. Goodbye.